becomes a literal monster. And he goes on and on and on up until security guards are brought, and that is when he starts retreating and retracting from actually hitting a woman that marriage actually doesn't exist. True love does not exist. It doesn't exist because there's no way you can convince me that these two people who have stayed together for over 15 years can just decide to wake up in the morning and be like, we're done. Hi there, it's Kerubo here and welcome back to another episode. Well, this particular one has been all over the place because what I initially wanted to talk about, I will talk about, yes, and I will add on to that, so that it can, back up my particular example. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, like this video and let's get into the episode. I saw this particular question on somebody's Q&A on Instagram and I loved the response that she gave. This is the question: what is the best confirmation to ask God if the guy you're dating is your husband? How do you know that he is the one and not actually a joker or a frog? And this is what she said: pray for discernment and wisdom instead of a sign. Let me repeat that first line yet again. Pray for discernment and wisdom instead of a sign. Especially if you're an overthinker like me, you can literally go crazy looking for a sign. A very wise thing someone told me recently is cultivate your relationship with God deeply so that you're always in alignment with Him and His will. When a guy comes along, you just know that he must be a wise choice because of how in alignment with God you already are. And I couldn't say it any better. I'd want you to highlight the first word that she started with in this particular answer: pray. Pray. I believe with prayer, God will never leave you on red because He wants you to constantly seek Him, to constantly ask Him, by the way, grant me this help, grant me this breakthrough, grant me this particular gift or this particular answer when it comes to a question that you've asked Him. Grant me this particular blessing, and He will give it to you because He wants you to have good things. He doesn't want you to have bad things. He doesn't want you to have wrong things. He didn't create anything bad. Because right from Genesis, we're told that after every other day, He looked at what He had created and saw that it was good. So whatever He has made for you is good. All you have to do is ask Him and tell Him, you know what, God, show me the way. And a teacher of mine always says in my Sabbath lesson discussion, he says that when the vertical relationship is connected, then the horizontal one with friends, with your significant other will be good, and He will choose for you so that you don't actually have to go through the whole tussle of meeting people, forming relationships, and eventually breaking them. And today's story is one depressing story, despondent story, heartbreaking, soul-wrenching, nerve-wracking, everything negative to say the least, because it came as a shocker to me yesterday. I was not able to film a video and put it out because once I saw this story on social media, it just hit hard. It just hit so hard. My heart sank, my heart broke, everything just came crashing in. I never expected it. Now, this particular lady, Coco Luanga, is one I do not follow on Instagram or on TikTok or even listen to anything on YouTube, but she has been doing content with her husband for a while now, almost 10 years, I believe, if not 10 years plus. And I usually stumble upon her videos on Instagram when she's giving birth. If there's a lady who I'm constantly seeing giving birth, it is Coco. And she has been giving birth to a point where she almost died. She almost died giving birth because she had a lot of complications, and as you shall see from the few excerpts that I shall read, she went through hyperemesis, which is excessive nausea and severe vomiting. And she went through a lot of postpartum depression as well, meaning it was a very difficult pregnancy. And she kept on standing, she kept on saying, you know what, I'm doing this with the man I love. And you know what, I'm just going to do everything I can for this family, and wherever I can actually chip in, I will chip in. I read from this particular excerpts. Backstory is she's been married for 10 years. She's Ugandan, married to a Kenyan, and she believed that she was happy in marriage. And whatever I saw on social media, the few nuggets here and there, you know, when a clip goes viral, especially when you're almost giving birth and you're going through something difficult, something controversial, that is something that social media does push, the algorithm does push out, because people tend to ask, what's happening, what's going on, is she okay, is she dying, did she pull through, things like that. So that's how I came across Koku. And another video I once saw of Koku was her doing her hair. She was showing us a tutorial while pregnant of her doing her hair, and it came out absolutely stunning. And yesterday, as I was going through her posts before I came to prepare this presentation, I realized this is an absolutely gorgeous woman. She is the model wife, she is the model lady, and she is a very strong woman. She is an iron lady, scratch the strong. And I think iron ladies are the ones who are taken advantage of the most, because they are naturally strong and people think that they will actually get through this, you know. And she is one person who I believe her former husband thought she would actually go through all of this and nothing would happen. She would just remain silent because she keeps her matters very private. But it reached a point where you can just hold so much for so long. And this was the cracking point. She just had to say, you know what, this is it. If I don't snap out, I just might lose my mind. And somebody on social media said, you know what, it's okay. Snap out so that you can release all that pain that you have been holding in for a very long time, trying to be strong for her kids, for her family, for her reputation, because she's a public figure. And she just flared up and it all came rushing out, and we actually now know what happened behind the scenes. Her husband, on the other side, is one character with whom, when I come across on social media, he's very hyperactive, if I can say that. And he does many infomercials here and there, and that's where I see him in many commercials, many advertisements on social media. I have not particularly seen him doing any episodes with his wife, but I will show you one very sad episode before the end of this particular episode. And this one was just heartbreaking. It was like a foreshadowing to what would actually end up happening, and it's so sad and it's so despondent. But I pray that what stands out at the end of this particular story is one thing: pray. Pray like you have never prayed before. I remember one person once said that you might think that once you get the man, once you bag the man, you're now married to him, you're now living together, you can just now relax and stop praying. Imagine, no? That should not be the genesis of fasting and prayers, critical prayers. I once saw a video on TikTok where this couple would pray after every 2 hours in the night. So it's 1 a.m. they are praying, 3 a.m. they are praying, 5 a.m. they are praying, 7 a.m. they are praying. And it was a constant cycle whereby I think the video was captioned, when you marry a prayer warrior, this is how it ends up. And that is what is required of you. Once you get to that goal that you are asking God to actually hit, that is not now the genesis of relaxing and be like, oh yeah, I finally got it, so let me just relax, everything is okay now, I don't have to pray much. That is a lie. This is the time that you should actually start praying the most. Pray like you are never going to pray ever again. Say everything and anything And once you're done, just know that is like a step towards what you're going to pray tomorrow. It's like a step up. Tomorrow, you're not going to say the same prayer. Tomorrow, you're going to pray even harder. And I was telling my mom, because I shared with her this story yesterday, I was telling her that people these days, and you can confirm it, people these days don't pray as hard as our parents did back then. My mom, her mom, my great-grandmother, the way in which they prayed is not the same way we women pray today. Women these days, I don't think we pray as much as those women did. The women that came before us, we don't pray like them. And I think many things are happening in homes and families because we don't pray. We do not pray, and we need to pray. We need to pray now more than ever. Pray without ceasing. Without ceasing. It means you don't stop. There's no time to rest. Any minute you remember, by the way, I have a husband, I have children, you pray. And you say, God, I put them into your hands. And my mom was saying that each and every time she is in a place with my dad, she prays for him. She prays. She's just constantly battling with God. And I was like, wow, I need that faith. I need that strength to pray, because I don't think us as Gen Zs, we actually think about prayer. But we need to. If there's a time we need to pray more than ever, it's now. We are living in dark times. Times where the Bible is written that many will turn against each other. Men will become lovers of self rather than lovers of others. And this is a perfect example. This story is a perfect example. I do believe that this man, Martin, at the beginning of the relationship, he actually adored this lady, Christy. In my heart, I want to believe that. In my heart, I want to believe that she is a smart lady, because she is. And she saw that this man actually values me. And this man loves me. And that is why she took the step to actually marry him. And all throughout the 10 years plus of their marriage, it was nice. It was nice up until the moment where he started changing drastically. He started doing things that were a bit of a red flag. And it was not so long ago. It's just a year or two ago. That's what I'm thinking. And when she starts seeing these signs, she's questioning herself. She's like, what is actually happening? And so this man, knowing that he has been found out, starts gaslighting her and telling her, you know what? Something is wrong with you. It must be the main medication you're actually taking because you just gave birth, or it's just right after birth. You know, your hormones haven't returned to the way they are. Probably you're going through fatigue, because she works a lot. She works a lot and gives all the money to her husband. I'm so sorry for that. I'm so sorry. She works and gives all the money to her husband. And in her heart, she knows, I trust this man. I love this man. I respect him. And as the man of the house, I am going to give everything to him. You know. And so she does, because she knows he's gonna take care of me because he loves me. I'm the only woman in his life. But she is shocked. One particular night, she's shocked. She comes across this man with another lady in the same compound, 2 different blocks that are adjacent each other. So she's in this block, block A, and block B is adjacent, and she sees her husband accompanied by a female who she believes she knows, going into his office. This is a place where he said, this is going to be my office. It's going to be right across us, across where we live, so that I can go to it and film, because he's a content creator. So his alleged office, and that is where he actually has time to sleep with this particular lady. And he does this. It's not the first time. It has been a cycle. And at this particular time, she was baking in the kitchen, and she looks across and is like, that's my husband. You know your husband. If you've been with a man 10 years, of course you know him. Even in the dark, you can know, this is my husband. And she sees this man going up with a lady, and she is hit. She's like, oh wow, he's actually cheating on me. That's why he wants us to separate. That's why he wants us to divorce. Not because of all the things that he has been telling me. It's not because of the deceptive things that he has been bringing to the table. No, it's because he has another woman. And right at this particular moment, that is when this man turns against his wife to the extent where he becomes violent. All throughout their marriage period, she never spoke about any kind of violence that was happening in the home, and I would like to believe that he was not violent beforehand. But at this particular moment, he turns into a beast to the extent where he kicks her, blows, name it. It's ghastly. It's a ghastly sight, and neighbors are screaming, hollering at him and saying, "Stop, you're killing her. You're going to actually hurt her. Stop what you're doing." They scream at him for a prolonged time, and he doesn't care. He becomes a literal monster, and he goes on and on and on up until security guards are brought, and that is when he starts retreating and retracting from actually hitting a woman that has born 3 children, 3 men. Let me tell you what bearing children is. Bearing children is losing a life. It's said that whenever cats give birth, they lose a life. That's the same thing with women. When women give birth, they lose a life. And giving birth to girls, you might be in labor for 24 hours, but boys, you might be in labor for 4 days. 4 days, and you're still not giving birth. You're just having the baby, and you are going through all this pain day in, day out. And she had very difficult pregnancies all throughout. And this man has the audacity to come and hit this lady who gave birth to his children, who went to the extent of almost losing her life for him. Just give me a minute. And at that particular moment, it hit me. Something hit me that happened in the past. I was watching a movie with my mom. Back then, we were Nigerian movie gurus. Yo! We'd watch Nigerian movies like, yo, it was crazy. And in this particular video, I'll just summarize it. This man had a very loving wife. And he loved his wife so much. He was the elder in church, and people actually adored him. But all of a sudden, his wife is pregnant. Everyone is happy for them. They're like, "Oh, congratulations, you're pregnant yet again." She has a firstborn girl, a secondborn son. She's now pregnant with another son. And he turns and he becomes a literal beast. A literal beast. And we don't understand what's going on. What actually happened? Why is it that he comes home and he's hating his wife? He's actually not praying as they used to pray together. The lady wakes up in the night, she prays earnestly. The man does not care. He stops coming home eventually, and she is bewildered. She's like, what actually happened? What did I do? And his family keep on pestering him and asking him, what's going on? What did she do? And he's like, I'm done with her. I'm done with her. Just leave me alone. I'm moving on to another person. And we as the audience are brought into exactly what happened a couple of months back, around 3 months back, where this lady came to his office while he was at work, and she approached him and said, "You know what, I actually like you. In fact, I love you, and I want you to be my husband." And he's shocked. He's like, "Yo, don't you actually know I have a wife? I do have a wife. Don't you see the pictures on the table? That's my wife. Those are my children. We cannot do this. This is impossible. I love my wife, and I will never do this. So please leave my office." Nigerians are very dramatic with chasing people out. Leave my house, leave my office, get out, all those things. So he says, leave my office, and he's very angry, and she's a bit hit. And she leaves. But she leaves behind a photo of her. So she drops it where she was seated. And that is a photo that he comes, and as he's leaving his office, he comes across it and he lifts it up. And this particular photo was bewitched. It was bewitched. So when he looked into this photo and saw this lady, there was some sort of power, the spirits that came into his eyes. And they usually shake themselves like that. So he was shaken, and something changed. And from then on, he started hating his wife. And that is the only logical reason I can give this particular story. That's the only logical point. That was a movie, but it actually really did make sense when it came to this, because these are behaviors that she has never ever seen, ever in her marriage. But all of a sudden, he's very aggressive, he's very violent. How? From whence? What actually happened? How did you just go from 0 to 100 in a matter of seconds? What happened? That's the only thing that I can actually pin to this particular story. This is just forces of darkness, forces that are working against families. And each and every day when a marriage happens, the devil is awakened and he's like, no, I have to destroy this marriage. I have to do anything and everything that I can to destroy this marriage, because this was the very first union that God created, the very first perfect relationship that God created from Genesis. And he said that you two shall be together, and you shall multiply, and you shall fill the earth, and you shall enjoy the splendor. And the devil said, no, I must make sure that God is wrong. And that is how he came into this marriage and tried to humiliate everyone in this marriage. Personally, for me, I feel with great conviction in my heart that this was a good marriage. Back then, probably the previous 10 years or so, it was good. He was actually a good man. But all of a sudden, he snaps and he is now involved in a relationship with someone else, and he's cheating on his wife, and he goes to the extent of being violent. They are forces at work day in, day out, because yet again I'll remind you that everything that happens in the spiritual world is a manifestation of what will happen in the physical world. So before it happens here, it has happened there. And that is the only logical reason. For me personally, that is the only logical reason that I give this particular story. I will show the slides. I would just want to speak a few words to these particular parties involved. For Koku, please just know that we are privileged as women. In this just one particular thing, if there's ever any case in which a man becomes violent, a man treats you with a lot of contempt as he did, especially when it comes to physically abusing you, the world will never, ever, ever turn a blind eye. Never. This is the only glimmer of hope that we have as women, that we are going to get sympathy. That is the only thing, by the way, I'm grateful for. Despite the many things that we have in our lives that are against us, this is the only glimmer of hope that we have, knowing that, you know what, somebody out there is going to sympathize with me. And I'm made to understand that there are channels in which we can support Koku. Follow her on Instagram, follow her on TikTok, go buy her recipe. There's a recipe on her Instagram bio. Go buy the recipe, go buy her products. She sells chapatis, makes absolutely gorgeous chapatis. I made sure that I've gone and seen them. I haven't ordered yet. I will order very, very soon. I'm following you, Koku, right now. I do believe that we should stand by women who go through the worst, when all they gave was love. All she did was just love a man, and she went through all of this. So go and support Christine. Take care of her. Send her lovely messages, and also chip in something. If you can, chip in something so that she doesn't stand alone. She just started doing an internship at a tech firm. So she's actually really struggling. So if you can give her leads, I am made to understand that she's actually looking for a house near Kimbo and its environments. So please, if you can, support her. And Koku, this will pass. This too shall pass. There's a girl says on TikTok, this too shall pass, and she says it in almost all her videos. And I'm here to tell you that this too shall pass. Tomorrow, maybe not this year, maybe tomorrow next year, maybe tomorrow 2 years from now, you will stand strong and you will say that I went through hell and I came out across on the other side strong, because you are a strong woman, having to go through all of this and still standing strong and saying that, you know what, I'm not defined by what I go through, but what I actually come out of, what I choose to actually make of every situation. And you are a strong iron lady. I don't think I would have the strength to go through this. I don't think I would have, but you have proved that you are indeed a strong woman, and use that strength in your favor. Use that strength for your boys, use that strength for your family, and use that strength to Teach your children to become strong people just as you are. I will always support you. I will always pray for you. If there's somebody that I have prayed for since yesterday, it is you. Even my mom is praying for you. Just know you are constantly in our prayers. Whenever you get a chance, pray for the Lord to give you strength. Only He can give you strength to actually come out of this with a lot of sanity and strength. Keep on pushing, praying until something happens. Keep on pushing. Don't give up. There are going to be good days, there are going to be terrible days for you, but keep on pushing, keep on working. There are great deals ahead of you. There is a great life ahead of you, and for those boys, they're going to grow to become very useful men in society. Because I was watching another lady, she's called Fumi de Salvol. She's like my online auntie, who I believe speaks and spits facts. She says women turn into animals when it comes to their kids. We turn into animals. There's a story of Hail Bailey, who was willing to go through all odds, all extents, to the point where her boyfriend was hitting her head against the steering wheel, but she didn't actually react. As long as her baby was fine, she was willing to withstand all that. Women turn into something else when it comes to their kids. And if she can go through a monthly income of 26,000, pay the DM, buy food, pay for her own expenses, go to work, and still remain a strong woman, that just shows you women are willing to contain a lot. And the last straw, I believe, the last straw on Netflix was one such video, was one such movie that just shows the great lengths that women are willing to go through for their children. I don't know if men are willing to go through all those lengths, but women we just turn into certain modes. I don't know even how she's coping with all of this, but I do understand that she's a woman, and women with children is just like, it's either you kill me or me. You're not going anywhere closer to my child. And I thank you for standing strong, and you're capable. You are very much capable, and you will actually come out very strong, very powerful, very capable of fighting anything that comes your way, because you have gone through the worst, I believe, very worst, and you are still strong. One other thing I'd like to mention is never ever idolize celebrity couples. When you see a celebrity couple, this is another thing that Auntie Fumi actually taught me as well. She said, do not idolize celebrity couples. Do not. You see a celebrity couple, you see them as couple goals, you see them matching outfits, you see them having their kids around, and everyone's happy, everyone's smiling. Don't say, I want my marriage to be like that one. Never ever compare yourself to a celebrity couple, a public figure couple. Do not. I repeat, do not compare your life, your marriage, your relationship to any celebrity couple, any celebrity relationship. Do not. No matter how perfect or glamorous they look on social media, never ever compare yourself, because you will give up. If anything goes haywire, you might give up on love itself. You might give up on your good relationship because this person is not doing the way so and so on Instagram is doing, and that just might be for show, or it might be something that they are doing, and eventually, in such a situation, for example, Koku, it might eventually fizzle out. It might end up dying, and you might give up. I know such a thing almost happened to me, because a while back, I believe last year, as the year was coming to an end, there was a very huge breakup between King Kaka and Nanowiti. That hit hard. That is another shocker that I was overwhelmed. I was like, are you serious? If these guys have now ended their marriage actually doesn't exist. True love does not exist. It doesn't exist, because there's no way you can convince me that these two people who have stayed together for over 15 years can just decide to wake up in the morning and be like, we're done. And we don't know the details, but do not, never ever idolize. Never ever put your trust in celebrity couples. Never. If you're doing that right now, start detaching. The sooner the better. Finally, for Martin. stooped so low. You stooped so low. It was one thing to cheat on your wife. It was another to do it in her presence. You stooped so low, lower than even low. You went all the way and made her feel like she is nothing. She is nothing. Do you know how nothing looks like? You don't know. But that is where you're heading. You're heading to nothing. If you do not repent, if you do not go to her and ask her for forgiveness, if you do not seek the Lord and ask him for forgiveness, you will become nothing. You will become exactly what you are treating her. Nothing. You better change. Take this as a wake-up call. Take this as a moment of reflection and wake up. I know there are forces involved, forces of darkness. Please pray for yourself. If anything, just pray for yourself. And repent. Ask the Lord to forgive you. And ask your wife to forgive you. And ask your children to forgive you. And change. If not for your wife, if not for your kids, just for the well-being of yourself. Because you cannot do this to a human being and go scot-free. Scratch that. You cannot do this to the mother of your children and go scot-free. The deals will go. Oh, look at Shannon Sharp. Where is he? Look at young Philly. Where is he? And you did not care. You're just like, nobody's ever gonna find out. But I think the 40th day has arrived, and it is said that the day the monkey dies is the day he actually slips out of all the trees that he tries to jump on, and your day has come. You know, there are those celebrities that actually bring out stories and you're like, this is a lie. That is you. You see that good for nothing statement you have brought out to a point where the police that you actually went to and said, she has come to cause disturbance in my home, were wondering, this lady pays rent, this lady pays your domestic manager, this lady pays for your children, and you can actually ask her to leave the house. What's wrong with you? You are embarrassed by your own situation. Please change. Just start retrospecting. Ask yourself, did anything I do, did I actually hurt anyone? Ask yourself that question. Just sit down with yourself, bring yourself down and ask yourself, did I do anything right? Did I do anything right? Because you have done nothing right. As a matter of fact, you're doing everything wrong. And it's better for us to actually tell you you're doing it wrong. And change. I will repeat that. Change. Change. Go to her, ask for her forgiveness. If you can do it today, do it. If you can do it tomorrow, do it. But do it. Because if you don't, nothing is your destination. I am so sad by this story, very saddened by it, but I will advise you as the viewer, pray. Pray as hard as you can. Pray any moment you remember to pray. Pray when you're strong. Pray when you're happy. Pray when everything is going well. Pray when everything is going downhill. Pray. And do not stop. Please subscribe if you still haven't. If you have, like this video. Leave me your feedback down in the comment section, and I will see you sooner rather than later. Bye.